Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henry, and I'm so glad that you are here today. We're going to have some serious, very serious podcast today, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, just wanted to mention that you can hear Ticket to Life on any podcast platform, just about any. That I know of. I'm pretty much everywhere. And anyway, and the other thing, you can listen to Ticket to Life on WDJY-FM 99.1 in Atlanta, Georgia. So welcome to my Atlanta listeners, and go Falcons. And in case any of you are wondering, I'm doing okay on the fantasy football team. Lost 2, won 3, but that's okay. Still in the top 3 with my scores, but or at least I was for now. But anyway, I won't get into Mama's boys football team today. But also, the great thing is that there is a giveaway. It's so important that you follow the directions or instructions for the giveaway, the rules and restrictions. I've had some people turn them in, and I'm not going to be able to use them because they're pretty simple. It's just email tickettolife022@gmail.com. Subject matter, you put favorite episode giveaway. I need your first and last name and the state you live in, and you tell me your favorite episode and why. And you can do a paragraph. I did get a full paragraph from one, but just 1 or 2 sentences, what you got out of it, why you liked it. And the important thing is that you write, I agree to allow Ticket to Life to read my first name only if I win, and make sure you include the email where you would want that Amazon $50 gift card to go. Now, we have the whole month just of October still, and the drawings on the Monday before Thanksgiving. All that's written down. The 24th of November. So it's 1 entry per person. So if you have a million emails, I guess you could trick me and do it that way, but that really wouldn't be honest. And I'd probably just planted some seeds. But anyway, make sure to include that email. And it's 1 entry per person. You must be 18 or older to win. No family members they can send something to me if they want, but they will not be eligible to win. So anyway, there it is. I put it out there. I hope that you are a winner. Although everyone is a winner in my book. That's what I have always said. When I was a Mother's Day Out director and teacher, I used to say, everyone is a winner. Because in God's eyes, you are a winner. And in my eyes, you are a winner. Now, I have to let you know about my disclaimer. And my disclaimer is that all these are my thoughts. They are my opinions. And that's all they are. And on this one, I hope that a lot of you do take some of this information and really think about it, what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about one of the hardest things that I can talk about, and it is child abuse. It is out there. And I've had a podcast set aside since 2022 to release, and I just heard it. And I thought, you know what? I got some of the notes. I made notes from it. And I think I'm ready because this morning, I don't, again, really read the news, but something popped up on my computer and ticked me off. And I thought, today's the day we talk about something very disturbing, and it is child abuse. Some people ignore it. Some people don't want to get involved. And shame on you. You are the people I am saying, shame on you. Because by not getting involved, you could probably cause a child to be killed by abuse or neglect. There are so many hotlines and websites you can go to, and I'm going to put all those numbers and websites. They pretty much are linked to the same one, but there's so many, and you don't even have to talk to someone. You can text them, you can email them with all the information that you suspect that a child is being abused. Now, in the Bible, it is written in Matthew 18:6 that Jesus warns that anyone who causes a child who believes in him to stumble would be better off drowned in the sea with a millstone around their neck. And he also says in Matthew 18:10 that this verse highlights the value of God places on children, noting that their angels in heaven always see God's face because they are angels. Children are described as a heritage and reward from the Lord in Psalms 127:3. So there you have it. Now, this is very hard for me to talk about because I've had friends that have been very open with me about their life. By the grace of God, I was not in an abused family. Didn't come from that. But it's hard to believe that someone could hurt a small child. It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But some people don't know what to do if they see it or if they know of it. So they just ignore it. It could be a neighbor. It could be a sibling. It could be a sister, a brother who have kids. It could be your best friend. But we can't ignore this. They are children of God. We are all children of God. And I don't understand how people can ignore it. And this is what I don't get. I don't get when a woman finds her husband more important, or her boyfriend, more important than the child she has. So she allows abuse towards that child because she does not want to leave or lose her man. I don't understand that. Also, the roles can be reversed, or a man will not stop the spouse, the mother, of abusing a child, their child, or a child from a previous marriage, or a child born out of wedlock. How? Because you're bigger? You think you're stronger? And you had a bad day, so you're going to take it out on them? No. And then the parent who needs to work. We all need to work and bring in funds for our kids, for our family. But are you bringing it in for your family? Because you're leaving your kid with, a person who really can't be trusted. But you need childcare. Again, I just don't get it. These small, like infants, toddlers, they don't have a voice. But if you see any signs of abuse, you have got to step up. Us as individuals. The common neglect of a parent or a caregiver, you need to know that these kids are have proper supervision. Now, I understand the single parent. You have to work. I get it. But you have to make sure that this person is on the up and up. Again, the smaller children cannot speak. We have to be the voice. We have to, if we see something, we have got to make it known and get that child away from this abusive or neglectful situation. And as kids get older, kids may become more aggressive or hurt one another. They have anxiety or depression. Because honestly, that's all their life is. That's all they believe. So they grow up, and guess what? They carry this on to their family, and so on and so on. Because they think this is how a family life is. Oh yeah, I get slapped around. And this is why so many teens are reaching out. Because Parents are not home. Parents are not, don't everybody in an uproar. I'm always home. I'm always there. I'm always giving them what they want. Not the same. We have got to get to the part where we're not kids' friend. We need to be their parent. And people think at a certain age that teens can figure things out. They can't. Were you able to figure out, especially with all the technology stuff we have now? No. You've got to be there for your teen. You've got to make sure you're leaving your small child in a safe environment. If your caregiver or whoever is taking care of, it could be a family member taking care of your small child and, they fell off the bed. Oh, that bruise. Oh, I grabbed him as they were falling, so that's why he's got bruises, or she has bruises on her arms. Oh, I was cooking, and she got too close to the hot plate, and she touched it. Be aware. Look at the surroundings. And I know this. Then people are like, "Oh, well, no, I trust everyone that I would leave my children with." You can't trust everyone. You just can't. To a little one, you have to be on top of things, literally. Check them out. Get references. Find out who they are. How long have they been taking care of children? Get a background check on them. You can do this. It's going to cost you, but trust me, it is going to be so worth it to know that your child is in safe hands. The other thing is what I was saying a while ago, just be, and I'm not saying everyone is bad. I don't like to say people are bad unless they're in prison or something. Then they're there for a reason, and I'm not sure. They must have done a bad thing. But that's just my opinion. But again, do not hesitate to call. And don't say, well, I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. If you have a small inkling that something is going on in a house, then you have got to say something. Again, be the voice for the children. If you see, again, teens being abused, teens being neglected, say something. Get a hold of someone. The numbers I'm going to give you, it's welfare.gov, but they also have phone numbers, and I want to put these in the description, not only with the rules for the Amazon giveaway, but gift card giveaway, but also these are very important. I usually leave the domestic violence ones on there and the child, but I'm sure they're on there. I'll have to check. But either way, it's going to be 1-800-422-4453. 1-800-422-4453. Now, for this is also the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline. All this is connected. If you're not sure who to call, then you call this number, and guess what? You can even text. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your number. I mean, they're going to have your number, but they're not going to call you back unless you ask them, please call me back. But I don't think they will unless they are not sure if you're making stuff up. And who in the heck is going to make stuff like this up? I can't even imagine. But I just read this horrible story that popped up, and the story was a husband and wife abused their 10-year-old child. When they got upset with him, they would grab him by his feet and throw him down on the ground until he would lose his bowel movements, his urine. And they did this often. And then they'd make him clean it up. Well, finally, he didn't get up. There was no response. Oh, but they did call the paramedics. I don't understand that. And then siblings would say, yes, they would keep him in the laundry room. This is not even the worst story I could share with some of you. Being that my husband and my son are in law enforcement, I've heard some horrible tales. The stories they've told are absolutely devastating. Again, people who hurt children, I don't get it. Yes, I'm emotional because I don't get it. I just don't. But anyway, please remember, do not hesitate to call. If you see any kind of signs, if you notice that a child, like especially here in Texas or any hot states, is always wearing long sleeve shirts during the summer, ask them why. Not being nosy. Hey, aren't you hot in that shirt? My parents make me wear it. Oh, okay. Why do you have those scratches on your face? Because my dog scratched me. But you told me you didn't have a dog. My parents told me to say that. If you don't see these red flags, black eyes, bruises, scratches. Yeah, some of these things actually do happen. But when you see them and they're consistent, you got to do something. Now, when my daughter was a teacher, she would tell me about some siblings and that were at her school. And they was always hungry. Always hungry. So she would always keep snacks in her desk for them so they could have something to eat. And at one point, she did have to call CPS. Why? Because one of the children came in with a hand mark on their face that morning. And she said, she called, Mom, what do I do? I said, well, you've got to call CPS. You've got to tell your admin, let them know what's going on. And you've got to do this. It is by law here in Texas. I'm not sure about other states. You have got to report child abuse. Law. It's a law. If you want to or not, because you don't want to get involved, but you have reasonable cause to believe that a child has been abused or neglected, to report it to Child Protective Services, now, or law enforcement, and then they will get a hold of CPS. Failure to do such a report here in Texas is a criminal offense and punishable by a Class A misdemeanor. So I'm sorry, there is no excuse for anyone not to report it. Doctors, nurses, teachers, anyone that deals with children, daycare workers, caregivers, report it. You're not going to, I could not even imagine not reporting it. I had a case where a little girl came up to me and says, Miss Henry, look what happened to me last night. Lifts her shirt up and she has all these whelps on her. She got hit by the belt because I don't even remember. It was something about her shoes. She couldn't find her shoes. She lost her shoes. So she got hit by the belt. Now, I know a lot of people still use the belt, but there's a difference between hitting and swatting on your bottom with your hand or a belt, I guess. I don't know. Yes, we used to swat our kids on the bum. So I said, oh, well, what happened? And she told me. And then I said, has this happened before? And she said, yes. But it was like, it was not a big deal to her because it happens. Well, of course, I called CPS. OMG. That mom came in with a fist of fury. No, she didn't hit me or anything. She came in and she says, how dare you report me to CPS? I said, hey, she showed me what happened. I did what I had to do. So that mom said, it is none of your business what I do to my kids. And then I said, it is my business when a child comes to me and tells me that you have beat her with a belt. Well, unfortunately, took her kid, little girl, it was a set of twins, but this one told me, but took her away, and I never saw, don't know what happened to them. I pray that they are safe. They're adults now. I'm sure they've moved on from all that. But that mom was furious. Another mom was reported by one of the teachers. And that mom came in. storming. Someone here reported me. They reported my husband because they said he slapped my son in the hallway. And I said, don't know anything about it. I did. But I'm like, don't know anything about it. If it happened, I don't know. I don't know who did that. I didn't see that happen. But that teacher took the initiative and she did tell me and let me know. But that mom just kept bringing her kids back because she knew that they were in good hands. Didn't hear from them anymore, or at least any more complaints, because she needed childcare. And she knew that those children were in a good Christian-based Mother's Day Out program. And she probably knew the truth about her husband. So I am just saying, if you know of anyone going through this, you've got to be able to just call, pick up that phone. You can text, you can call them, you can send them an email. But you got to do it to save the kids. Now, this is a very, here's another story. See, these stories are everywhere. They are everywhere. And it was of an adult friend who told me she was abused by her father. He would come in and every night, just about every night, and touch her and do things. But she didn't think it was wrong because her mom knew about it. Her mom knew about it. So she got older and wiser. She knew, first she said, I thought I did something wrong because he stopped coming into my room. And the reason he let her know he was doing this because he loved her. So she said when he stopped, she said, I felt bad because I thought I did something wrong. He doesn't love me anymore. Well, as she got older and wiser and realized what he was doing was wrong, and she did confront her mom, and they wound up getting a divorce. I'm not sure why, but she finally did confront her mother and ask her, did you know that Dad was doing this to me? Yes. She said, why didn't you stop it if you knew it was wrong? Because I didn't know it was wrong. And the mom was speechless. She had to keep her man there, I guess. I'm not sure. And then they wound up divorced anyway. Now, you tell me if that doesn't, this was an adult woman telling me this in her 40s. If that doesn't scar you, I don't know what will. And if any of you adults out there that are listening have been through something this traumatic, I am so sorry. And I will pray for you to lift that bad memory away from you. Because no one deserves to be treated like that. No child. Be abused, sexually abused. And my heart goes out to all of you who have been abused, sexually abused. I am so sorry. May God help you move on. And I know it's awful to say, where was he at that time? There's so much evil in people that do this stuff. It's uncontrollable. Just know you didn't do anything wrong and you did not deserve this. But know that you are loved and what you went through was horrible. And my heart goes out to you. Just know that you are loved by God. And everyone does have these secret scars. We all have a story. So I can now finally say, I finally did my podcast on child abuse. And I guess this is actually why I haven't done it, because it was so emotional for me to know that innocent children, right now as we speak, innocent children are being abused. Abused by someone that says they love them. Now, abuse does not, I'm so sorry. I didn't think I was going to get this emotional. But many people think that abuse only takes place in poverty homes of poverty, that oh, this is what happens to them. But guess what? It doesn't. It happens in many, many homes. It's just a fact that these things happen, and so many of us are blind to it and refuse to see that. Well, I hope I did not upset too many people by bringing back some bad memories, but I do. I pray for you, and also if you have a live-in partner, check them out, especially if you have small children. I don't know. All I have to say is that if anyone would have ever hurt my children as children, okay, even as adults, it would not be pretty. And this is not a threat to anyone. This is a promise. You hurt my children, my grandchildren, you might be visiting, or I might be doing a podcast from Huntsville, Texas. That's the state penitentiary. I would do anything for my family, my husband, my family, my extended family, because family is everything to so many, and it needs to be everything to you. So if you have any suspicions of family members, neighbors, co-workers, church workers, any place, please, I am begging you, please do not hesitate to call 1-800-422-4453. Now, each state does have their own CPS, and they may even be called something other than Child Protective Services. And you can call these numbers again, or CHILDWELFARE.GOV. And you can call these numbers and get information. Get information for your state. So I want to thank everyone for putting up with my tears and putting up with me getting upset. That was my rant for the day. I believe that children are the future, but we have got to make them good. We've got to give them good lives and lots of love and lots of care. So this is Henry, and just a reminder about the giveaway, and thank you so much for listening. This podcast is going to sound choppy because I've had to edit it where I had to wipe my tears away, but thank you again for listening. So if it's a real choppy, that's my fault. So anyway, until next week, thank you for listening. Please go find your blessings.